Today we are going to get a super simple version of what is called the age of exploration. Normally I would take a few weeks to teach this in 5th grade, but it is no longer a 5th grade part of the curriculum anymore. It's supposed to be taught in 4th grade, but I think we need a little review before we get into what we're supposed to learn this year. Okay, so enter the world. The world before 1492, we could basically pretend to cut it in half. The people on this side of the world did not know the people on that side of the world existed. And the people here did not know the people there. There was not the technology or the motivation for a while to travel all the way across the sea, except for the Vikings. They did come to North America in the year 1000, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, most people didn't know about this, okay? Enter the 1400s, okay? China, okay, which is located on the continent of Asia. So here's our continents: Asia, Europe, Africa. Oh, I wrote Native Americans over here. It's North America and South America. Okay, so you have North America and you have South America. Okay, they don't know each other exists. Okay, Asian culture's over here. Europe is where your white people are going to come from, Africans down here, and Native Americans in North and South America. Okay? All right, awesome. So, in the mid-1400s, there's a man by the name of Marco Polo. His family are a group of merchants, okay? And they traveled to China to get all the awesome stuff that China has. Specifically, one of those awesome things that China has is spices, because back then, there's no refrigerators. So your food goes bad rather quickly. How do you keep your food from going bad? You might need spices to preserve them, okay? Or if it starts to go bad, you need spices to make it taste better. So spices are expensive, and really only rich people are getting them. But you can make a lot of money bringing spices back to Europe. So Marco Polo, his family, goes to Asia to trade. They come back. Marco Polo is 17. He's going to go on a trip to Asia with his uncle and his father. So they're going to leave Italy. Then they're going to travel to Asia. And Marco Polo has gone to Asia for 24 years. Okay, it is said that while he's in Asia, he becomes he works for the emperor. So he becomes like this trusted person who works for the emperor Kublai Khan in Asia, traveling all over. But basically, fast forward, at the end of 24 years, it's time for them to go home. And they travel back to Italy, which is part of Europe. And they bring these amazing stories about what China's like. When Marco Polo gets back to Italy, there's some battles going on between the different cities in Italy, because back then it wasn't all one country. The cities would fight against each other. And Marco Polo gets thrown in jail. He gets thrown in jail with this guy named Rustichello. Rustichello is an author, and he writes down Marco Polo's stories. But Marco Polo's stories are so amazing that most people don't even really believe them. They actually call the book of a Million Lies. Its real title is The Travels of Marco Polo. So his stuff gets written about in a book. Okay. Books, fast forward a few years, printing press. They used to write books by hand. Now they print books. So now they're starting to print copies of this book by Marco Polo. And a very famous person who not everybody likes, by the name of Christopher Columbus, reads this book, okay, about China, and he wants to go to China. While Christopher Columbus is figuring out how to get to China, people from this country here called Portugal are also trying to figure out how to get to China. Now the problem is they can't go this way anymore, okay? Because this area has been taken over by the Muslims, by the Turks. They've taken over the city of Constantinople, and they don't like the Europeans, and they don't want to let them go through. So the Europeans have to find a different way. So while Christopher Columbus is reading Marco Polo's book, people from Portugal are trying to find a way to China by sailing around Africa. And they keep going around a little bit at a time, okay? As they go around, they make trading posts and they start trading for things in Africa. One of the things they trade for is slaves. We'll talk about that later. While the Portuguese are trying to get around Africa that way to get to China, Columbus says, dude, what if we just sail across the ocean and come out on the other side? Because back then they knew the world was round. The world was round, why don't we just sail around it? And he eventually, after being turned down several times by different people and being turned down by the King and Queen of Spain, he goes back to the King and Queen of Spain and says, come on, I can make you lots of money. I can get you to Asia. You guys can trade with all this great stuff and help the country become rich. And they say, all right, we'll pay for you to see if you can travel around the world to get to Asia. So Columbus thinks like this and this touch. But he doesn't know, again, that this is there, okay? So he sets out from Spain. By the way, Columbus is from Italy. He sets out from Spain. He follows the currents along the ocean. He ends up down here, and he hits land. Ba-ba-da-ba. Columbus discovers America, sort of. Basically, he makes America popular. But what happens is Columbus believes he's in Asia. So for a while, people thought that North and South America, that he really made it over here. But he never found the things that Marco Polo talked about in his book. So other people came after Columbus and proved that Columbus did not land in Asia. Columbus landed in a new place that nobody knew existed. And the person who proved that Columbus did not land in Asia was a man by the name of Amerigo Vespucci, which is what North and South America are named after. So now we have all parts of the world that are connected, and the world suddenly becomes bigger. And all sorts of other explorers now are going to come across the ocean to check out this new land that Columbus accidentally found.